With September marking the celebration of South Africa's Heritage Month, we today take a closer look at South Africa's entrepreneurial excellence, resilience and inclusion, how the country has over the years navigated entrepreneurial agenda parity. Well, to discuss this further, we're now joined via video link by South Africa's leading monetization expert, Hetty The Entrepreneur. Hetty, a very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for your time. Just to clarify to our viewers, you prefer to go by the name Hetty The Entrepreneur. So you're known as a monetization expert. Briefly explain what monetization means in practical terms, especially for those entrepreneurs who may just be starting out.
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. So monetization, in essence, is the act of making money. Now, this is very, very important in entrepreneurship because our businesses need to make money. You can have a great product, a great service, but if it's not making money, then your business is not going to be sustainable. So my specialization is helping entrepreneurs to become profitable and scalable.
So as we celebrate Heritage Month, I mean, we're spotlighting South Africa's entrepreneurial spirit, as you heard in that introduction. From your perspective, how has entrepreneurship shaped the country's economic and social heritage, do you think?
Entrepreneurship is, in fact, the heartbeat of the shoulders upon which we stand on. If I think of the original Hetty the Entrepreneur, my grandmother, Ugogo Hetty Masego, she was the original Hetty the Entrepreneur who used to sell amagwinya in the township of Tsakane in the East Rand. And it is because of her sales of amagwinya that she was able to educate her sons and her daughters and was able to produce a grandchild within me that is now able to pass the baton forward through mentorship and coaching and training. And so I think entrepreneurship is deeply woven into the intricate heritage of South Africa's landscape.
I love that. Just on that note, let's talk about, gender parity then. When it comes to that, I mean, where do you think South Africa stands today in creating those equal opportunities for female entrepreneurs? I mean, not everybody has mentors like the one that you've had.
Absolutely. In fact, I think what's quite interesting to note is that quite a large number of entrepreneurs within South Africa are actually female. We know of a lot of female-led businesses, and a lot of us can think of female-led businesses. I think the biggest challenge that we are facing within our society is actually opening up opportunities for these female-led businesses by way of access to market, access to funding, as well as access to opportunities.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs in South Africa face, structural challenges, from limited access to funding, resources, to navigating red tape. What strategies have you seen, work best in helping entrepreneurs build that kind of resilience?
First and foremost, the biggest strategy I have seen is access to knowledge and education. Over the past 12 months, our monetization organization, in partnership with our various corporate partners, have actually traveled South Africa and done workshops for entrepreneurs in over 22 townships across South Africa. And one of the biggest and most resilient cry from these entrepreneurs is, we need access to information. Yeah. We need access to knowledge. We want to do the work.
But I mean, of course, those that have the access to information are still burdened by red tape. I mean, what do you think the problem lies in this country?
I think the biggest issue that lies in the country is that we are governing policies that are not reflective of the true entrepreneurial experience on the ground. So when we look at access to funding, for example, it isn't reflective of the operating environment of entrepreneurs on the ground. And as a result, we are missing the mark in terms of entrepreneurs as well as institutions that service entrepreneurs in being able to meet meet each other halfway.
Yeah, many people watching now may have, a side hustle or small business idea, but don't know how to take it further. What are the first three steps you can advise to start monetizing that idea?
First and foremost, you need to be very clear about who it is that you are servicing. You might have a great idea, but who's going to benefit from that great idea? And is that individual going to have the capacity to pay you? Because at the end of the day, your business needs to be profitable. The second thing is you need to have a strategy. How are you going to increase visibility so that people know that you exist? And how are you going to ensure that you are able to get yourself in front of the right customer? These are the types of questions that we need to ask ourselves in planning. And the third thing is you need to place yourselves in rooms where there are other entrepreneurs and like-minded people, like the Entrepreneurs here in Function, for example. That is one of the places where you as an entrepreneur need to be so that you are able to liaise with other like-minded entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and for those entrepreneurs already in business, I mean, you see the world, how it's become so digitalized. What simple tools or even digital platforms can they leverage right now to increase that visibility and income? Because a lot of people are saying, should we go the social media route? How else can we help our consumers who, rather want to shop online? Where do they begin?
First and foremost, the answer is yes, we should go the social media route.
Yeah.
The truth is that is where your next customer is. And gone are the days where we say, I'm not a social media person.
Yeah.
You need to do it afraid. You need to do it shy. Also find free tools and resources that are available. You leverage AI to be able to make your job, your day-to-day work as an entrepreneur so much easier.
Hetty, it was lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time, Hetty the Entrepreneur there. Thank you so much for that, of course, just unpacking what monetization actually means and also looking at South Africa's entrepreneurial excellence, resilience and inclusion and mixing that in the Heritage Month.